Well, hello everyone and welcome to the Birth Queen podcast. I have Jasmine with me, who I guess your last name is Jordan. I didn't know, I didn't care.
No, still don't. Those are good.
There's so many places we can start, but I always like to kind of just start with, which is how we met.
Yeah.
On the panel is, who is Jasmine?
And it's such a loaded question.
I know.
And I love it though.
People are like, wait, that's really a hard question. I'm like, I
know, like it is. But no, I think at the end of the day, like, I'd like to describe myself as multifaceted. I'm an onion. I have layers. I'm a mom. I am literally just me, myself, and I. And there's so many layers to it and elements that, I'm still understanding and learning each day. But at the end of the day, I like to be known as a strong individual, a loving and caring, genuinely kind and humble person that is extremely blessed and grateful to see every single day that I'm able to. So that's me.
So how long, when I saw your mom, I didn't realize New York is new for you.
Yes.
So where have you spent most of your time?
A bulk of my time, obviously childhood in Chicago, born and raised. But then when I graduated from college, I moved straight to Charlotte, North Carolina. And I was there for almost 10 years. And so now I'm in the New York, New Jersey area coming up on 8 months. So
you're still new.
I'm still new. I'm still getting there. Still got boxes in my house. So my neighbors probably judge me, but no, I'm getting settled.
It's fine. So as far as your childhood, what did you know what your passions were from an early age, or did when did you kind of arrive at this is my jam?
Yeah.
And what are those things?
It was interesting. I feel like I went through so many phases when you're growing up, whether it's the super tomboy phase where I'm wearing, my brother's Dickie jeans and hoodies, just wanted to be.
That was the best phase.
Oh, that was my favorite.
With the big
jabos, yeah, and the jerseys. You couldn't tell me anything. I was in my element. My mom was like, put a dress on. No, we're not doing this.
I know, but nowadays if I had a girl, I wish it would go back.
Right,
because sometimes these little girls, I'm like,
ooh, it's different.
I'm 6 years old.
Yeah, boy, mom, proud of it. Okay, yeah, I have those worries because
it's a thing.
If I had a mini me, stressing me out. I stressed out my mother, but I definitely went through a lot of ebbs and flows where at one point I wanted to, be in the fashion industry and design clothes. And it was the prime and beginning of when Jordan Brand had a women's line. And so I literally would create sketches and then give them to my dad. I'm like, send them in. I want to see what they think. And they were sweet. They made prototypes of things that I drew up. And I was like, you guys, this is so ugly. Please don't produce this. So I went through that stage. And then after that, it was one of those things where I really started to understand basketball. And that was probably when I was 10, 11 years old. And that's when I knew okay, wow, I love sports. I want to be in and around it in some capacity. I don't know what that looks like, but I need basketball and sports to just be literally adjacent, if not in my life in some capacity. And so
did you play?
I played. I retired early because I suck. And I have no problem admitting that those genes didn't come to me. If I pick up a ball now, the passion is there. That's what I got. I was I got my dad's passion and competitive, but the skill set, no, that's okay. I would trip over my left feet. I'd end up in a body bag within the first 10 minutes of the game. It's just not like that. So I let it go very early.
Okay. So then I think it's, and too, as I think about my career as a trainer, as a female, there isn't this encouragement, especially when I came up, of women to be in sports outside of playing. I'm almost 10 years older than you. So sure, women played sports, but it still was not respected in the same way. But you didn't really see women involved even in an adjacent way as an agent or, a sportscaster, occasional.
Yeah.
So how did you come to what that might look like to be involved? How did you uncover?
I think for me, it was really entering high school. And I knew, again, I wasn't going to be on the basketball team. It wasn't going to happen. But instead, I did the alternative route of okay, what's close to it and still passionate in mine? And that was dancing. So I ended up being on our Palms team at both of my high schools, Loyola Academy and Whitney Young. And so for me, I'm okay, I'm really here just because I want to perform at halftime. But then when halftime is up, I'm sitting on the sidelines defense, get the ball. And they're Jasmine, no, relax. You got to perform 5 minutes. And I'm okay, but the game is going on. Like, I'm
Right.
trying to watch the game.
Right.
And so once I like transitioned out of high school and really got into college and was preparing for college, I just knew that my major had to be in sport management. Like, I knew, okay, I'm going to whatever institution that will teach me the business side of sports. And if they didn't have it, I didn't want it.
Okay.
And so even being that specific narrowed all of my options down. Because a lot of schools at the time when I was applying had it as like a minor or had it as like a club and like extracurricular, but not as an actual major until I applied at Syracuse. And Syracuse had the full sport management division, the major, and at the time it was the College of Human Ecology. And they literally had everything to learn the ins and outs. And I said, okay, great. Yeah. This is perfect. And even when I applied, got in, I even looked around my classroom. I was like, okay, there's only about 8 to 10 women and the class is like 30, 40. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Like, maybe this isn't a field that is known to us or we didn't get exposure to us as women. Yeah. And that's what I want to see. How can I break that barrier or bring it in by at least getting my degree, doing my due diligence, and then when I enter the world, continue to pay it forward and bring everybody in. Right. So it was definitely a journey to really understand, like, okay, how and what does that look like? And I think it's still something I'm learning and evolving, but it's definitely you're definitely starting to see, like, okay, women are in sports. And that doesn't mean we're playing it. We're understanding it. We're teaching it. We're talking about it, so on and so forth. And it's starting to break that barrier of it being a norm. Yeah.
So then you graduate. Yep. And then, like, what was the journey to, like, be where you are now as far as work?
So I graduated 2014 and ended up transitioning straight into being the coordinator of basketball operations with the Hornets in Charlotte. Oh, okay. And so I was lucky and loved it. Like, obviously, my father's the owner of the team at the time, but leading into it, I did 2 internships prior to make sure, okay, I solidified my understanding, knew what I wanted to be in the department and division. And once I finished my last internship, I told them, like, hey, I don't graduate for another 3-4 months, but I'm excited to work here. And the recruiting representative in HR was like, okay, we don't really have any positions open, but like, we'll keep you in the loop. And I'm like, okay, I'll be back. Like, I'm just letting you know.
I'm moving here.
Like, I'm going to do it. And sure enough, like, I think it was like 2 months before my actual graduation date, I sent in everything, my resume, cover letter, and all to the same HR representative. And she was like, ironically, there's a position open. So I'm more than happy to interview you and see if you can fulfill it. And I did. And so I graduated on that Mother's Day weekend in 2014. I think I moved to Charlotte 2 days after and started my first day right after that. And then for me, my thing was like, I just wanted to hit the ground running. Like, got my degree, did it, check it, great, amazing, but like, let's go.
You want to
ready to work.
Yeah.
Like, I was
like me, I'm like, let's get
it. Like,
how were you received by the team?
You know, it was interesting because I think the players at the time, like, most of them knew me because I did work, like, during some of their draft years or their transitions and interviews when I did my 2 internships. So the players were like, yo, like, welcome. Like, you know, kind of took me in as like little sister, you know, kind of mentality. And then the front office and my actual colleagues was the ones like, I didn't have to prove myself, but at the same time, I'm gonna prove that I got here on my own merit and not on my name. And so when I first got there, you know, I had a couple of interns within my class, or at least new hires in my class, that'd be like, damn, you don't have an office already? Like, why you got a cube? You should have an office. And I'm like, yeah, I need to earn that. Like, what are you talking about? And they're just looking at me and I'm looking at them. I'm like, I'm not going to give you what you want. Like, I'm going to work my way up here. And sure enough, I did. So I started in the cube, and then I moved to the team desk, and then I moved into the office. Like, I did all the things. And I think for me, that relationship with not only my managers and directors, but the athletes continue to grow. And they were able to see, like, okay, she's really about her shit. Plain and simple. Like, this is what she loves to do, and we're seeing that. So, yeah, give her flowers.
Yeah, I love that.
I loved it.
Yeah. So then what made you choose to come
I transitioned. Yeah, it was sad. I didn't want to leave because, like, I love Charlotte and I loved working for the Hornets, but it was one of those, like, okay, I've been here for 6 seasons now. Like, what does that growth period look like? And in basketball operations, you don't really leave it. Like, once you're in, you're in. And even at the time, I was one of 2 women that were in the division and in the department specifically. And so that trajectory or that next point was that GM role or a director of operations role. And I'm like, I don't know if that's really what I want to do.
Okay.
Because I was building a great rapport with our athletes and starting to understand them a little more. I implemented our sports psychology and personality index testing. So like that brought me closer to them and understanding, okay, what do you guys need as athletes and how can the organization help you? And knowing that that was becoming more of my niche, I'm like, I don't see that here. I don't see that in a team.
Yeah.
I see that more on like player development, player branding, player marketing, because then that brings me closer to the athletes, their needs, but also tell their stories in the manner in which they want to be received.
Right.
And so that was when I knew, like, okay, I had my time, I did my duties at Charlotte. Let me start transitioning and looking elsewhere. And so I applied to Nike and Jordan in sports marketing specifically. And so it was an easier transition because my oldest brother at the time, Jeffrey, was already there. So I would come out to Portland, I'd shadow him and like walk around, he'd be hyped, like, my little sister's with me. And I'm like, hey, it's like, bring your sister work day every time I came to campus. And one of the last times I was there, I met with his manager and I'm like, hey, I don't really know, what sports marketing is from the standpoint of applying. I didn't see anything online, but like, I would love to work here. And here's my resume, here's all my things. Contact me directly or contact Jeffrey and just let me know. And it was about 4 months after that they said, hey, we have a position open as a field rep. Let me know if you're interested. So I said, okay, great. Do I have to live in Portland though? Because no. Like, no shade to Portland, but I didn't want to be there. It was cold. It rains like 340 days of the year. Like, I didn't want any parts of that. And so they said, how about we do this? As you transition into the field rep role, in Charlotte Hornets is the only Jordan branded team in the entire NBA. Take on the Hornets account and the athletes that are represented there, and then you can stay in Charlotte. And then we'll have you just travel and see other athletes in the Southeast Division or up at the East Coast. That can make Charlotte base for you. Okay. I said, okay, great. Mm-hmm. That's a perfect scenario. So that's how I transitioned in without having to go to Portland, but still was able to kind of marry two of my positions from the past to the present and start to merge over and really just embrace it from that standpoint.
I love it.
It worked out.
Yeah.
And I'm still there. Not in Charlotte, but I'm still a field rep in
How
Jordan.
are you liking the transition to New York?
It's different. I think the South softened me a little bit, that Southern hospitality. Because New York and New Jersey energy is different. Like, yeah, it's different. Respectfully, it's different. It does a lot, remind me a lot of Chicago, though. And I think that's what probably made it easier for me to get adjusted to, because I lived in the burbs, and to me, like, Jersey feels like the burbs to New York. Like, It's that calm, it's that peace, but then when you get into the city, that's the energy. Yeah, and you're just like, ooh, it's a vibe. Like, you just love it.
I mean, there's literally, all my friends from all over the world, they're like, there's no vibe, like, when you touch down in New York City.
No, like, it's different. It is different.
They're literally like, the plane lands, and you just, like, feel a vibration.
You feel it. Yeah. And, like, everyone gets mad because I'm the person that I love traffic. So, like, driving in New York traffic, New Jersey traffic, I'm sitting there like, do. I do. I'm listening to music. I'm vibing. Everybody's cussing each other out, honking and stuff, and I'm just like, this is great. Like, I don't care if I'm going to be 40 minutes late. Like, I'm cruising.
Yeah, and then you're not in control. I mean, that is one thing. Like, New Yorkers never really get mad about people being late because you're like...
It's out of your control. You can't control the taxi.
LA is, like, worse.
Oh, I can't imagine.
The traffic in LA is...
It has to be rude. It's rude.
And it's such a car city. Mm-hmm. So I feel like most people that probably
they're just driving. Yeah. And they're just like, no. But the problem with LA, and I will never understand it, y'all have like, 6-lane highways and expressways?
Like, why is there still traffic?
Why do you still got traffic? Like, at least I understand here and even in Chicago, like, okay, there's 3 lanes, 9 times out of 10, one's going to be under construction, it's going to merge it 2. Y'all have 6.
No, LA is like ridiculous.
No. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm from Oakland, but now, like, when I go home, there's like, sometimes there's traffic, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? Like, I didn't grow up with this at all. Like, things are supposed to just flow. Mm-mm. So, we have something in common. We're both boy moms. Yes. So, how's motherhood treating you?
Motherhood is amazing. I always tell people like that was my purpose, to be a mom, but like specifically be my child's mom. Mm-hmm. Because I don't like everybody's kids. Hard stop. I really don't.
So did you know you always wanted to be a mommy?
I always knew I wanted to be a mom. And I always wanted a boy first. Like,
oh, you knew?
Hands down, I always wanted a boy first. And I think it's also because growing up with 2 older brothers, I'm like, okay, I know this.
You're like I get this.
Yeah, like, okay, you guys are going to look out and protect. Yeah, you know? So I'm like, no matter what, I definitely want a boy first. And so I was very, very excited. I cried my little ass off when I saw, like, on the ultrasound, like, oh, yeah, it's a boy. Because leading into it, I swear it was a girl.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was having a girl. Even though I was carrying low, so like all the myths of, yeah, you're carrying low. If you like spicy food, you're having a boy. If you cream sweets, you're having a girl. And I was like all over the place. So I couldn't really tell. And then I had heartburn. It was brutal. But leading into the appointment, I told my son's father, I was like, I feel like I'm having a girl. I feel like it. And so he was like, no, like, let's just see when we get in there. And sure enough, she was like, nope, it's a boy. Cried. Just waterworks, waterfall, everything, lost it. And I was like, okay, this is the greatest day of my life. Like, I'm having my boy. So it was awesome.
You want more?
You know, that's a great one. You know, it's hard. I'd say my answer changes every day. So if you ask me today, yes, I would love to have a little girl. Just one little girl and then like shut it down. But if I ended up with 2 boys, I'd be hyped too, and I'll still shut it down. I'm not doing more than 2. Yeah.
I got this like gift package with a onesie in it, so you can have
rolling.
it. I opened it and I was like, I know I need to look a little weird, but like I'm not pregnant. And I was like, does she? What?
That's an omen. It's a sign that you're supposed to do what boy? Yeah.
How? You have the answer to how the hell that's gonna happen.
You know, we're gonna figure it out. We'll figure it out.
But it's not funny because like people who are like a little clairvoyant are like, you're having another one, and I'm like,
don't put that energy on me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was at a table with all these birth workers with twins. I was like, no,
I want no parts of that. No parts of that.
Actually, both times I got pregnant, I said how many.
Ooh.
I think God knows. I'm like, don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. He knew to give me a boy first, and then to give me some time to really enjoy motherhood. And
my boys are 3 years apart, and I was like, okay, that's cool.
That's perfect.
But the 2 boy thing is
real.
It's busy.
See, I love that for you.
Because are you the baby?
I'm the baby of my parents, so the OG kids we call ourselves. But I'm the baby, 2 older brothers. And so like I just knew what that lifestyle was gonna be like. I was like the baby, but then you got only child syndrome when you're the only girl. Like I don't care what anybody says, because me and my mom would do our thing, this, that, and the third, have our girl time, and then I'll come back and be like, oh yeah, I have brothers. I forgot about you guys. Me and mom went to New York to go shopping. Like we were thriving, and then we come back like, oh yeah, hey guys. But no, I love being the youngest, and I love being the older girl of my parents. And now I have baby sisters, and so I got to be a big sister to them. And
how old are they?
Loving that. I'm 30, so they're 9. They're babies.
Are they twins?
Twins.
Oh wow.
Yes, twins. So love being the big sister and like setting the tone. I'm like, y'all too young. I can't pick on you guys. Like my brothers picked on me, but like once they get a little bit older, yeah, big sister's gonna put them to work.
What are they super different?
You know what? They are, but like they're not at the same time. Like twins, you can tell them apart for sure, and they definitely have different personalities. One's a little more girlier than the other. But at the same time, they're like thick as thieves. They love just doing everything together and just rolling out like 2 peas in a pod. And I'm like, I love that for y'all because I have that. So enjoy it.
My goddaughters are twins. They're now 16, which I'm like, oh my God,
girl.
What the heck did that happen?
Yeah. Time flies.
It does. It does. So I always ask everyone, like, what's your biggest push moment? So it doesn't have to be childbirth, but like in your life, what's your biggest push moment?
That's a good one. You know, I think my biggest push moment was probably the first time my son got sick. Mm-hmm. And like looking back, it was really just a cold. But of course, I didn't know what to expect. And he was about 6 months, and he wasn't sleeping, he wasn't eating. I was breastfeeding, he wouldn't take any milk, and I'm just like, something's off. Like I can't tell what it is, but he's not himself. And so I took his temperature, and he had a fever of like 103. So I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and get the medicine going. Let me get the cold rags. Let me go ahead and schedule the doctor's appointment and do all the things. And I just remember sitting there like praying, okay, take your nap, like go to sleep. I promise when you wake up, you'll feel better. And like, I'm talking to him. And again, he's 6 months. He doesn't know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like he's just looking at me like, okay, like I'm going to still cry. And I just sat there and was like, yo, I don't think I'm doing this right. Like, maybe I'm not doing the right things as his mother. I'm not giving him what he needs. And that's why he's upset. He's frustrated and obviously not feeling well. And so when I took him to see his pediatrician, who's incredible in Charlotte, North Carolina, and a Black woman at that, and she literally got his medicine, did a little rock. Like, I was just watching her, and she clearly was a mom, knocked out, went straight to sleep. And then she literally was just like, you can cry, you can release. And I was like, is it that obvious that I'm just like, I need that? And she said, yeah, hang out in here for a little bit and just relax and take it in. And that was the moment where I was like, okay, I got this, but I got a village to help me. And I have to understand and lean on the people around me a little bit more. Like, I can't do it all. But it had to take that first, like, oh my God, what am I doing moment to be like, you actually got this, but understand that you don't know everything. Yeah. So lean on your tribe, lean on those around you, and just know, like, it's going to be okay. And that was a turning point for me. I was like, okay, this ain't easy, but it's going to be all right.
And how are you handling the not doing everything?
Oh.
And asking for help.
Yeah, my therapist would be like, you need to work on that a little bit more.
I think I kind of know the answer.
Yeah, it's like a 2 out of 10. I had to rate it. Because I am a super mom, and I'm one of those, like, I do it all. Like, I have no choice. Like, I have to do all the things from working to raising him to keeping the house clean to also maintaining my dog's sanity, also being the glue to the family. Like, I wear many hats. And so when you have to stop and think like, God, I gotta ask for help before you do it, you're like, okay, no, you don't. Like, let's just talk this through. Like, you got this still. Let's look at it from A, B, C, and so on. And I'm the person, I'm gonna get all the way to Z before I'm finally like, all right, let me just ask for help. And by the midpoint, whether it's my mom, whether it's my friends, they're like, hold on, like, Jasmine, I'm like, no, I got it. You guys, I swear, I'm okay. I got this. No, no, that was the cue to be like, it's okay to ask for help, but I have to go through my process to finally be like, all right, that's it. And it's frustrating because I think even in my younger years, in my 20s, I'm like, asking for help is weak. Like, you got to be able to hold it on. You asked for this. You chose to be a mom. You chose to have this life. So asking for help is not something you should do. But after a while, and it was many talks with my mom, and she was just like, asking for help is actually strength. It's acknowledging the heck, hey, I can't do it all, but I'm relying on the people that have raised me and helped shape me to pull in their abilities to help me in this moment.
Right.
So it's not about being weak. It's actually from the standpoint of understanding, like, hey, it took a village to shape you. So tap into those other elements that you have that was given to you from other people to help you give it to your child. And I was like, okay, now that's a different perspective. That actually allows me to be like, okay, I can ask for help 2 out of the 5 times. And then if I can't get it, you know, it all works out. But it's a process.
Do you feel you have a little bit more pressure because of what your second name is?
For sure. For sure. And like, motherhood it's a journey and it's a joy. And it's one of those things I love to share. I love to talk about my son. I love to talk about, my birth story, etc. because it can help anybody else, or at least it allows that relatability, the people I talk to or my followers on social media, whatever it is. But then it's that extra layer of like, well, you probably had it easy. Or like, well, you didn't really struggle. And it's all connected to the name. And I'm like, you guys, like, remove that. I'm a mom. That's it. Like, there is no other extra layer.
Like, your kid doesn't really care.
My child has no idea whose grandfather is right now. Like, he's 4, and he's just chilling with grandpa like, hey. He's not like, MJ. Like, he's not checking for that, okay? By the time he realizes he's going to do the same thing I did and probably Google. Like, it is what it is. So when everybody's like, nah, he's lucky to have him as a grandfather. I'm like, he don't even know. Like, that's just grandpa.
Like,
and who cares?
Like,
who cares?
I doubt your dad's like,
yeah. Let's talk about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. He's like,
how many rings does grandpa have?
Thank you. Like, count them out. Like, come on.
I mean, he might have a couple moments.
Yeah, no, for sure. But like, I would. Like, we're going to learn today. Like, let's go play in the trophy room. Come on now.
I know.
But like, at the end of the day, like, my son's not going to care about any of that.
Right.
Any of it.
Right.
And I think that allows, even in my family, like, becoming a mom absolutely normalizes all those other elements for that exact reason. Like, anybody body willing and able, you can be a mom. And that doesn't have anything to do with the last name or anything tied to it. And so that's the gift within itself, and that continues to give. So yeah, it's one of those things, like, you can't shake it, you can't avoid it, but that child could care less.
How was your birthing experience in your pregnancy? Did you let's start here. Did you enjoy being pregnant?
I loved being pregnant because I felt like I could just eat everything and not feel bad. Like it was, and it took me to my second trimester to really feel like that. But it was funny because
you're like, I'm just gonna let it hang out. I loved it. Yeah, no shirt tuck,
nothing. Like crop top and belly out. It was thriving. Like you couldn't tell me anything. And so it was funny, and it was fun because when I found out I was pregnant, I had no idea. I went to my OB-GYN appointment and just regular checkup. Wasn't thinking anything of it.
Oh, shoot.
And the sweetest man, my OB-GYN, the sweet Southern man was like, well, congratulations. I said, for what? He said, well, you're pregnant. I said, no, I'm not. He said, ma'am, I promise you, I've been doing this for a long time. You're pregnant. I said, sir, unless you see a baby head popping out, I'm telling you right now, I am not pregnant. He said, okay, I'm going to need you to go pee on the stick. We're going to do some blood work, and then we'll talk about it in like 20, 30 minutes. Sure enough, I peed on about 7 sticks. 7. They just kept handing them. I'm like, no, this one, one more. In denial. I'm like, you know what, this one got a little wet. Can we just do another one? Like, in denial. All came back pregnant. 2 lines, pregnant. I'm like, damn, okay. And so he was like, well, how do you feel? I'm like, I don't know. But okay. Like, I literally just sat there. I was like, I just need to sit in it.
Yeah, you're like, I need a second.
Yeah, I need a second. He was like, okay, so you don't want to know how far along you are, huh? I was like, I mean, we're here now. It's like, okay, you about 10 weeks. So now I'm sitting there like, okay, for 10 weeks, what have I been doing? Because I just want to make sure everything checks off. But I was like, okay, well, what's next? Because I clearly wasn't planning for this exactly. And so he's like, no, just going home. You're going to get all this paperwork and review it. And so I got in the car, and my son's father was overseas at the time. And so I called him and was like, so I'm pregnant. And he was like, oh. Like, okay. It's like, well, how do you feel? And I'm like, well, how do you feel? Because it takes 2 to tango. And he's like, nah, this is great. Like, this is great.
Oh,
okay. I'm like, okay, all right. Keep telling me that. Like, I'm processing. And so he was like, no, it's okay. Like, keep me posted. Let me know. And, you know, my contract will end. You know when it ends. And I'll be home. I said, okay, cool. All right. Now I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, who do I call next? I call my mom. I call my dad. All right, let me call my mom. So I call my mom. She sent me the voicemail. I was like, damn. All right. Send her a text. Hey, call me when you can. Everything's fine, but call me when you can.
But not really.
But not really. And so then I was like, well, she ain't answered. Then I know my daddy ain't going to answer. So I'm like, I texted him first. I was like, hey, let me know if you're free. Just got to, you know, catch up and chat. And so then he called me right then. And I was like, damn. All right. Wasn't expecting this response.
You were like,
I really wasn't expecting it. And so.
Aren't you busy? Aren't you MJ?
I could have sworn he was busy doing something, but it's fine. It's fine. He's like, no, I'm dad first. I got the text. Let me go ahead. Meanwhile, my mom's like, hey, I just finished an appointment. I'll call you back in 5 minutes. I was like, okay, all right, let me figure this out. And so he called, and I'm like, hey. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, not much. I'm driving home. He's like, oh, okay. Everything good? I said, yeah, everything's fine. He was like, you pregnant?
How do you know?
I said, huh? He was like, you pregnant, aren't you? I said, yeah. He's like, wait, really? I said, wait, really? Like, yes. He said, oh, damn. Well, father's intuition. Congrats. And I'm like,
you're like, that's it?
That's it? Like, that's crazy. Why would you say that? And he's like, I don't know. I felt it. I just felt that's why you were calling. And I said, okay, well, yeah. And he was like, no, that's good, boo. Like, I'm happy for you. Everything's fine. I was like, okay, but, and then I got an incoming call from my mama. So I'm like, okay, well, let me call you back. And I got to tell mom. And he's like, all right, fine. So my mom had called. And she's like, hey, like all happy-go-lucky, cheering. I'm like, hey, mom. And she was like, what are you doing? Same spiel. And I was like, oh, I'm heading home from a doctor's appointment. And she was like, oh, okay. Everything fine? I said, yeah. I'm pregnant. Silence.
Yeah, because she a mom.
She a mama. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different, you know? So I was like,
you really want to do that?
Hello? Mom? And so she picked up and she's like, girl, drop the phone. I started screaming in my ear. And I'm just like, oh my God. So she was so excited. Like, needless to say, both of my parents were very excited and very supportive. And that gave me the energy to be excited.
Yeah.
Because I was like, damn, 10 weeks. She said, damn, 10 weeks. I said, Mom, I'm just finding out. Like, I promise you, like, looking back, I
Did you have symptoms? Or?
No. Like, everything was fine. Like, I felt like everything was regular. I literally didn't think anything. Like, when he said I was like 10 weeks, I'm sitting there like, okay, well, maybe I was a little sick, a couple weeks ago, and I just didn't think anything of it. So I didn't really feel my pregnancy until second trimester. Mm-hmm. And that's when I started to show, and that burst of energy. I'm like, oh, I want to clean. I want to do this. I want to do all that. Oh, my God. And so, like I said, finding out I was having a boy, I was like, ooh, great. Like, I'm about to deck this nursery out. Like, it's about to be lit. Like, all the things. And then it was approaching that third trimester where I was like, yeah, I'm not about to do nothing. I just want to sit on this couch, eat, watch TV. But I was still working during all of this. Mm-hmm. And so it was a journey, to say the least. But, like, I had a very smooth pregnancy. I had a very smooth one. And it's tempting to do it again. But then everyone's like, yeah, that second one is not going to be like the first.
That's not true.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Because everyone's like, no, your second pregnancy
it can all be different.
Right.
But I loved being pregnant.
Yeah. See? Well, we'll see.
And both times they didn't want to come out. Yeah. So I was like, my doula was like, your uterus must be really comfortable. I'm like, I don't know. Like, can you get out? Like, I don't want to be in labor this long, bro.
No, I got lucky because even labor was smooth for me, where it was 37 weeks that I ended up giving birth at. And I think it was 2 days before. No, it was a day before I actually gave birth. So May 3rd, I went in because I was like, all right, these contractions is kicking my ass. Like, let's just go. And so my son's father took me in. And the doctor was like, you're about 3 centimeters dilated. You got some time. Take some Pitocin. It'll help you sleep. And everything will be fine. But I caught the glimpse of the nurse in the background, and she was just looking at me, and I'm like, let me see why she's staring. And so she was like, I would stay close if you can. Like, I know you're only 3 centimeters, but
she felt it.
She felt it. And so I was like, well, I live 25 minutes away. Like, I can't really just stay somewhere nearby, but okay, I'll keep that in mind. She said, if it gets really bad, come back. So I said, okay, fine. So I took the medicine. I got home. I'm thinking, all right, I'm about to sleep through the night. Everyone said that the Pitocin said help you. Girl, I slept 2 hours. I was up. Them contractions was kicking me. And so I had my room set up with the bouncy ball, with the towels, with the blankets. And so I'm doing everything to just keep breathing through, because I knew I didn't want to be in the hospital very long. Yep. Like, I wanted my labor to be at home as much as possible. And when I'm at that last second, okay, fine, let's go, knock it out. And so it's 1 a.m, 3 a.m, 4 a.m, and I'm like bear hollowing and like rotating. My son's father is knocked out in the bed, not hearing nothing. And so finally,
but those noises are
it's aggressive.
When the ancestors come out, it's about time.
It's time. So I'm thinking, looking back, I probably should have went in then, but I didn't. And so I'm literally like howling on the floor and like rolling around and doing all the things. And like, he is dead sleep.
How is he sleeping?
I have no idea. So I finally like throw a pillow and I'm like, bro, run the bath water. Like, I need to get in the water. Like, I need to relax. And so now I'm sitting in the tub looking like a beached whale and just like breathing and just taking it in. Like, all right, everything's fine. Like, everything's fine. I can last a little bit longer. Nope. That second contraction came in. I said, okay, get me out. I gotta go. And so I'm getting ready. He's getting the bags in the trunk. I'm like, okay, let me eat something, because I know when I get there, they're going to shut it down. Yep. Like I said, I'm ready to eat. So I'm eating cereal, bananas, whatever, just so that way I can be good. And so my mom wakes up to hearing all our commotion. She's like, y'all going to the hospital? I said, yeah. She's like, okay, I'm coming. I said, Mom, don't come. She's like, why? And I was like, I have a feeling it's going to be a false alarm. Like, I don't want to be up in there and then they send you back and us home. Like, just wait it out. We got there. And the nurse was like, okay, let me just check. It's the same nurse from yesterday. And she said, I told you to stay close. I said, okay, well, I'm here now. What's going on? And so she checked me and everything. And she said, do you want an epidural? I said, oh, absolutely. I want to finish the last stretch with that epidural. And she said, okay, we're going to have to get it fast because you're almost 9 centimeters. I said, oh, okay, cool. Call my mama, because if I have this baby without my mother,
she's gonna die.
She's gonna turn this hospital upside down.
She's like, hold it in.
Yeah, hold it. Like, I literally was like, you guys, I can't bring this child in until my mother gets here. Like, hard stop. So, got the epidural in, and it was one of those, like, I don't like needles. Mm-hmm. And so, but then when I'm nervous and when I'm uncomfortable, I have to repeat what people are saying to me. And so he's like, all right, needles out. I'm like, needles out. He's like, all right, we're going to poke. I said, okay, poke. It's going in. Everything's fine. He's like, no, I'm asking you, is everything fine? I said, oh, yes. Everything's fine.
You're like, I hope so.
You got to tell me everything's fine. And so Finally get it out, get me to the room. I tell you, I felt nothing. Legs went numb, body's all relaxed. I'm like, oh, this is great. Wow, all right. My mom comes storming in. I told you I should have came with you this morning. You had the baby yet? I said, no, Mom. Just got my epidural and like, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Sure enough, they were like, in about an hour, you'll feel it, and then we'll come back and check on you. And so I started feeling this pressure. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm supposed to be feeling anything. So thankfully, my doula had came in at the time. And she said, how you feeling? I said, I'm good. I said, but I'm feeling like pressure. And she's like, okay, like pushing? Like, are you pushing? I said, no, I'm not pushing, but like, I feel like I have to poop. Like, honestly.
Yeah, it's time.
Like, I think it's time. And so she's looking, she's like, okay, yep, the head's already sticking out. We got to go ahead. And I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, your body was pushing. You just didn't realize it. I said, but the water ain't breaking. She said, no, I'm going to break it now. Boop. I said, oh, wow, this is really happening. Okay. So got my legs up. Got my son's father here. My mom's on the right. My mom's like, actually, I'm going to go in the front. I got to record this. I said, Mom, you're not serious. Girl, phone out, zooming in and out, getting the angles. And I'm just like.
My mom was like, I can't, because I pushed so long, things were very large.
Oh my God.
The front and the back, like.
I didn't need this. And so I'm just looking at my son's phone. I'm like, just don't look. Don't look. Like, breathe, hold my hand, look at me. What does he do? Look.
Well, when the head's coming out, the body's coming out is cool. You just don't want to look after.
I say don't look at all. Like, just
no.
don't look at all because guys, I know he's queasy. And so I'm sitting here like, I can't have you faint. I can't have you do nothing. Like, be quick if you're going to look. And he looked and he's just looking at me like, I say, yeah, we're going to do it. 13 minutes of pushing, he came out. That's it. And
how much did he weigh?
9 pounds, 8 ounces.
Oh, you got a big baby.
Big old baby. Head full of hair. So heartburn was justified. And I was expecting him to cry. Because, you see in the movie, baby come out, they're crying,
He's chill.
Dead silent. And so I was like, something wrong with him? Like, he's not crying. And they're like, no. He's cool. He's okay. He's beautiful. Girl, they handed him to me. And he had the meanest side eye. Like, why did you disturb my peace? Why am I here right now? I was like, this is my preview. Yeah. And sure enough, he was like, all right, like, I'm here. What you want? Like, and it was just, it's the crazy thing because it happened so fast. Mm-hmm. And I'm literally like holding this little alien looking baby. And I'm just like, wow, like,
not the alien.
Like, woo. Like, I did that. Like, you're here.
Yeah.
I created you. I'm stuck with you. Like, all the feelings. And I'm just like, wow, this is wild. This is wild.
It is.
So that first night, I don't think I slept the entire night because I was just staring. I was up looking at him. Of course, his son's father knocked down on the couch, thriving. And so I'm just looking at him like, damn, we really did that. Like, that's my little human. Little person.
It's crazy. And then when they get big, you look at, there's moments, now you're like, I need you.
Yeah. You have those moments where you're just kind of like, wow, like, I see me in you, but I also see you coming into your own as well. Yeah. And it's just like, it's a growing point. And like I said, your son's 5 and 2, he's 4. And the transition from 1, 2, 3, 4, it's been different. And every single time I'm just like, wow, I made you. I brought you into this world.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I just wish society honored the mother just a little bit more.
A little bit more.
Especially the black mama.
Come on. Because I don't get it. I don't get it.
Like, I'm like, the fact that there's a black maternal health crisis and women don't have paid leave or childcare, but I'm like, nobody would be here without us.
Thank you. We literally have created lives and continue to create them.
Like, I don't get it.
The least you can do is take care of us. That's bare minimum of what you can do.
But I heard it. I did an Instagram live yesterday, and they were like, mothers are like a candy wrapper. The way society treats us is like you really just want the candy. Mm-hmm. So once you're done unwrapping the candy, you just toss the wrapper. And that shit is the truth.
Unfortunately, yeah. And it's just at the end of the day, it's again that's mindset and understanding of like, give us our credit without us asking for it.
Yeah, which is why community is so important and
having a tribe. Yeah,
and it's interesting for the audience. Like, we literally met in March on a panel, and then the rest is history. Yep. But we saw each other, and it's important because we can have, and I'm sure you've seen that because you became a mom somewhat younger,
yeah.
and we're probably one of the first in your crew to become one, and it can be an isolating experience.
Absolutely.
And in this, it's just helpful when you can have someone that like can just look at you and know what you're feeling.
Yeah.
And you don't have to explain anything.
Yeah.
Because like you're also just so tapped out.
Yes.
And trying to hold it together.
Right.
All the time.
At the same time.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's exhausting. Like I literally have my best friend from high school. She also is a mom. And so our boys are besties. They have no idea, but they're best friends because we're best friends. And so, you just get with it. So anytime I'm having a mom day or I'm tired or whatever, she's the first person I call. And I'm the first person she calls. And we just sit there and we breathe.
Yeah.
Like that's all you need to do sometimes.
Because otherwise it's
ongoing. Yeah. And it's exhausting because it's like you love your friends, you love your family, you love everyone around you, but if you don't have a kid, sometimes you just can't relate. You can't relate to mothers. And it's like, I'm exhausted telling you of everything that I'm going through. And while I appreciate you listening, I appreciate your support, it hits different when you're able to talk to someone that's in the boat with you and that understands it. And where you literally can just be like, girl. And then that's just it.
And that's it.
That's it. And you're like, I already know because, and then it just goes. Like,
I mean, she heard what was happening one day and just was like, go handle that. And then we hung up and she goes, Bing, I got a text. She's like, I love you. You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Because she could feel over the phone, like, the chaos and the stress that I was enduring in that present moment. But just to send that love and validation, to just, it allowed me, because it goes back to when he was 6 months, you know, I'm a confident mom, but you are like, it's just so much. We deserve affirmation. We deserve care. Support. We deserve rest.
Yeah.
And the big point I made earlier and what I've been kind of thinking about since my trip to Jamaica is we deserve fun. So like you were just on your vacation. I'm like, let's plan a trip. Like just go out. Even if it's like a night overnight in New York City, like go to dinner, like spend the night at a hotel, do spa, just like have fun. There can be restful moments, but I also am just like, once you're a mom, you can be tired for fucking ever. Like
forever.
Because even like when your kids get older, like your mom probably still worried about like,
I saw 24/7.
I saw on the gram you guys went out, so I was worried if you guys made it home at night, you know?
Yes.
And so I see my mom in my stories all the time. Like she's probably not going to text me and be like,
my mother will. My mother will. She'll send me the screenshot of my story post and be like, oh, that's cute. Where you at? And then 2 hours later, you home yet? Let me know you made it. I'm like, Mom.
That's the shy in her. My mom's in Sacramento, so she's like a little.
No, Chicago mamas, they a little different. They want to know your whereabouts at all times.
I'm from Oakland. Like Samuel tried to undo my hand, so he held my hand on the way to walk to school down the street, crosswalk. We got out the crosswalk. He let my hand go. I was like, bro.
No. Run it back.
I said, what you doing? I was like, we ain't holding hands.
Yeah, no.
We ain't holding hands. No, we didn't go.
That's what we gonna do?
And then he like hugged me. I was like, but I'm gonna kiss you in your mouth.
All day. I'm gonna embarrass you no matter what. My child does the push off. Like, he'll do the side hug or like the extension. I'm like, no. See, now I'm gonna just pick you up. Now you messed up. Now you about to be little baby daddies all day. Like, you getting all this baby love and I'm just gonna smush your face. You can mush me all day, but now all your friends go see you a mama's boy, and that's not gonna change.
Right.
So,
can we talk about that? Oh my God.
Forever.
What was that? Those like reels that are like, tell me you're a boy mom without telling me.
Without telling me.
The clingy shit. I'm like,
yes.
They will be so free, running, tearing everything up, and then they both like, it's real like quick. They come to recharge.
We're magnets.
And I'm like, what? You guys like, I
can't move. Yeah, you get the wraparound. I get the wraparound where he'll be sitting on his iPad minding business and he'll look and see I'm too far and then he'll come scooch over and then put me in the headlock. I'm like, honey, your shoulder. Like, I'm okay. I'm here. And he's like, yeah, no, And then he comes down. And now
Baldwin's words are, no, mommy, sit down. No, mommy, stop. Sit down. No,
it's
sit
rude.
Down.
It's rude.
I'm like,
it's rude.
Okay.
We're just here for them. That's it.
I was like, but boo, I got no pick me up. I'm like, bro, you're like 35 pounds.
No, they don't care. They don't care. They do not care. Or they'll do the sit down.
They'll be like, you're strong, mom.
Yeah, you got this.
I mean, there was a whole stage where I'm like carrying both of them. I'm like, never question my strength. Okay?
Oh, no. It comes out of nowhere.
Right.
And the worst is when you travel and I don't know if you still do the stroller. Child.
I've done cross country to Oakland with both of them and the dog.
Ooh.
So I deserve.
You deserve it.
I deserve it all.
You deserve it all. Because Somebody would have been lucky.
Somebody buy me a birthday.
Yeah. Please and thank you. 2 for each one. Yeah. No, 2.
People on the plane are like, "You're amazing." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
glad
thank
you
you.
noticed."
Okay. How would you like to celebrate? Like, thank you.
Those are of our last flight, Baldwin, because the allergy season is so bad.
Oh my God, it's the worst.
He yacked in my hands before we even took off. Like, we were both covered.
Yeah.
And vomit. And I was like, "Oh, we haven't even taken off yet."
This is beautiful. It is a beautiful day. This is exactly how I imagined it.
And I had that thought, pack an extra set of clothes in your carry-on. And I was like, why did I do that?
See?
Listen
always
to that voice.
Yes. Every time.
And I was
Every
like,
time.
that's why I was thinking that.
See?
Because I was about to have throw-up.
He said I wanted to bless us before.
And that day I had put him, I know you're not supposed to say white beater in a
right.
tank top.
The tanky.
In a light tank top.
Yeah.
And I'm telling my age. And so I took off his sweatshirt. He was just rocking.
Oh, he chilling. Yeah, no. At that point,
I was like,
we gonna roll like this. That's it.
Hacking. I'm sure people are like, "Oh, you brought a COVID kit." I was like, no. And then I'm thinking, oh God, does he have an ear infection? But the allergies present like an ear infection, all the draining.
Yes.
And he's 2, so I'm like, and I've been, having babies and breastfeeding for 5 years, so I never took any kind of allergy meds because if you don't know, that'll mess with your milk. And so I'm like, I take him to the doctor because we forget about ourselves.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, he doesn't have an ear infection. Like, he needs meds. So I start giving him Allegra or whatever, and it worked. I hate always having to have.
Yeah.
But he loves medicine. He like, medicine, mommy, medicine.
Oh, I love that for you, because mine absolutely
he's
not.
like my little drug addict. I gotta watch him. I like
you gotta do like the TikToks.
No experimenting for you.
Please don't. When you cut the hole out and you put the medicine in the bottom, so that way you can see. Oh God. Okay. Listen,
wait, what is that?
TikTok hack. You get the juice box, cut out the back, and you put the medicine cup inside. Stick the straw through so that they're thinking they're drinking juice, and it's medicine.
Oh shit!
Greatest thing ever. Because my child, he sees medicine.
No, Samuel would projectile vomit, and luckily, I breastfed both of them a long time, but luckily Samuel didn't really get sick. Of course, though, the one time he had one of those crazy ass colds with when their bodies are so hot.
Yeah, drenched in sweat.
I was shooting Mirror and 2 TV shows that week.
Ooh.
No sleep.
Ooh.
And I remember I got to set on The Good Fight and I was like, hi, makeup.
Yeah, please. Just
Y'all gonna have to bring out everything because I have not slept at all.
That's brutal. That is brutal.
Like, not even. Yeah. And when you're breastfeeding, that's like a whole nother layer of energy.
Yes.
And then you still have to pump.
It's draining. It is draining. See, and I never pumped because my son didn't like any bottles. I bought well over 60 bottles, 100 plus nipples. Like, I tried it all. I tried to get the nipples that were brown because I was like, well, maybe if he sees my skin, he'll be like, yes. I did the t-shirt cutout, sliding it in. Like, it was not happening. It's not happening. So I had to breastfeed. So I was thankful that I worked from home. And so I was able to do it all throughout the day on demand.
You get touched out. It's a lot.
It's exhausting. Like, and then you think about the mental toll. And midway through, I'm thinking like, damn, I'm just a cow. Like, all I'm doing is producing milk, and he's just eating and sleeping. Like, that's all I'm here for. And it's like, it's exhausting to think about it. It's such a process, but it's something that you can't get out of. And so you have to really talk yourself into like understanding, like, no, you are providing.
Yeah, and I loved it, and it's I think for me, like, a lot of this is but what's important, and I feel like also what I want to touch on because of who you are is that it doesn't matter. Like, sure, you have privilege, access, or whatever, but like, you're still a human being and a mom, and it's a toll. And in different ways, I can say this, it's harder because there's a lack of like privacy or there's this thing that, like, I don't know why people think you're like less than human just because you might have some access. You're like, but you got all the J's.
Right, you got all that. So, okay, but
no closet is fly.
But what I got to do?
Your life ain't hard.
What they got to do with anything? My J's don't pay my bills.
Take this shit.
Right. I promise you, they don't.
Trust me, when I was with my ex, I was a millionaire. Them problems? I was like,
no. There's bigger things out there.
I remember the first time I saw his, like, when you got big bills, they come real pretty from your financial advisor.
Yeah, real nice.
I was like, hey, what? I said, we gotta go sell some shit.
We're not doing this.
80 a month?
Yeah, we're not doing this. No.
For what?
No.
I'm like, bro, you grew up in the projects. What? 80 what?
No, we're not doing it.
What are we doing?
We're not doing it.
Why are we doing
We're
this?
not doing it. We're not. Like, that is not happening. All right, stop.
I said, because this is like, I said, we can sell all this.
It's different. It's different. It hits different. And that's what people fail to realize. Like, I live a normal life.
Yeah.
Like,
to ease some of that. Because it's like, once you're here, then they'll fall, you know? And there's just this, it's just so much pressure all the time. And so I just like, I see you and I love that we're getting to know each other. But I think it's important for people to just realize like, everybody's
normal, you know, like this is regular life. Regular life, like I promise you.
Like my kid don't care who I am.
He don't care. It's a regular day. Like I don't know why. Like this is the biggest thing that I always see, especially on my page. Is like everyone's like, well, why don't you show his face? Like we deserve to see his face.
You don't deserve it.
Why in God's green earth do you feel like you deserve to see my child's face? That's creepy. You sitting at home behind your desktop looking for a child's face for what? Did that pay your bill? Did that help you sleep? Seeing my baby's face? No.
They say deserve?
Yes. Oh, I've had comment. We deserve to see his face. I don't understand why you're covering it. That must be a deformity or something. Like, it will go up, down, left, and right. And I'm just like, y'all are talking about a baby. You know that, right? Like, a child that can't even defend himself. Like, you're pressed to see
I need you to get a life.
Thank you. I promise you.
Find a hobby.
Do something. Do something.
You clearly got too much free time.
Way too much. Come see me behind that keyboard. Come see me, and then I'll let you know if you can see his face. Let it go. Let it go. So.
Do you see my face? Like, anyway.
No.
Okay, so the final question I like to ask everyone is, what are you giving birth to next?
Oh, what am I giving birth to next? Not another child. I'll tell you that right now.
Maybe that one.
that onesie for somebody else. Maybe like the wrong face. No, ma'am, because I got time before that happens. You know, I think I would probably say I'm giving myself, I'm rebirthing myself. And that's because I just turned 30. And so I love the fact that I'm in a new decade. I'm in a new era. Like, I'm in a new space. Like,
you grownish now.
You know, I'm kind of grown. Like, I can start paying my bills. Kidding. I've been paying my bills since 20. But it's like, it's just a new sense of energy that's coming with all the changes I've been dealing with. And I feel like that's my rebirth. It's like, I'm not changing who I am. I'm not erasing my past or nothing like that because I have no regrets. I live life to the fullest and I'm grateful for every moment within it. But 30 hits different and it's just like, okay, I want to walk into it like, this is me.
Yeah, you feel like, I feel like there's almost like the circle kind of completes.
Yeah. And then it's another little
and
layer.
Then
it's another little layer. So I'm just like, okay, cool. That era, my 20s, beautiful, ups, downs, and all. Loved every minute of it. Tears in full. And it's like, okay, cool, 30, what you got? Like, let's embrace this. Let's step into it. And then I'm doing it from the space of, it's me and my son. Like, it's the two of us, through thick and thin. We gonna get through it and just have an exciting time, new places, new beginnings, and just authentically living life to the fullest. And I'm ready for it. Come on, 30.
Yay, we like 30. We gotta enjoy the last couple months of my 30.
Listen, it's okay. You as 30 as you want to be.
I know. I'm like, it's fine.
That's me just saying +1.
We got goals for March though. I'm like, we need a birthday savings.
Yes, that's why we got that.
I'm like debating though. I'm like, do you like parties? Like birthday parties?
See, yes and no. I love to celebrate my birthday. Like I am that person where it's like, it's my birthday week. I'm not gonna do it. When is your birthday? December 7th.
Okay.
So I'm a Sag. We love that.
Yeah.
Don't judge me.
No. It makes sense. I'm good with Sagittarius as long as y'all are good with me.
Exactly. I was about to say, this is backhand.
Otherwise,
wait, no. What is yours?
I'm a Pisces. March 19th.
Okay. I get it.
No, but like if you guys fuck with me, then it's hard.
You're good. You stuck. That's it.
I just will make sure I never disagree with you.
Thank you. Okay. As long as you know. Because, woo! Yeah. Arguments be a little different. But it's okay. We love Pisces over here.
I know. I'm like, okay, you're getting loud. Yeah. Like my girlfriend is sad. She had a call upstairs one time when I was at her house. And she was like, what I said was, and I was like, oh shit, somebody disagree with faucet.
Listen, that's accurate because it's giving. I said what I said,
And it's real,
and
like
that's it.
professional, but
Yes.
it's loud as
everything.
I was like, okay,
Yeah,
my
don't
ex
blame
was a Sag. I'm like, dude, like I don't agree with you. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, everything's fine.
But he was, but
there's two sides to the Sag.
But y'all are sensitive too, though.
It depends. It depends.
It depends on who.
I say I'm a softie. I'm not sensitive. Where like you can tell me, check me, whatever, but like don't play me. And if you do that, then that softness is gonna go hard. Yeah. Because now you're just trying to hurt me. Yeah. And I'm gonna let you know you hurt me. But then I'm gonna take your ass up afterwards. So it's like it's a balance. It's like I'm gonna hit my low point, you'll see it, but then my rise is gonna be ugly, and you're gonna be get out of my way.
Oh yeah,
that rise is not pretty.
Yeah, you can.
It's a balance. It's a balance. It's a balance.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest like fighting sessions.
No, leave it there. Leave it there.
But you guys are serious about your work, and
we get a bad rep for being wanderers. I'm like I don't wander. Like, I don't know. But maybe that's the female side of me. Like, I like female side and male side.
Yeah, they say that there is...
completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different.
But it's weird because I think when you guys make the decision...
That's it.
Like, my ex that was a Sag, had his fun, played in the NFL, like, whatever.
Yeah.
We did not deal with that at all.
No.
It was like, he went through the black book and was like, don't call me, I'm in love. It's her.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
And I was like, damn.
You locked in,
you locked in. Whole phone?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. But
I mean, yeah, he was locked in. That was not our
issue. Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of that stuff is true, but like, I also think when you have clarity is key. And if you find your person, then that's just it. I mean, I was his person.
You know, let me know.
Until he was no longer mine.
Exactly. When he was like, yours. I was his, but I let that go. Yeah. Sentiments. Yeah.
Everybody's like, hits good.
Who are we talking about? Like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just know.
They're gonna be like, wow.
That was it.
I got layers.
Peel it back.
It's not all your business.
No. You know what you need to know.
Yeah, message. Everybody don't need to know everything. Just give a little taste.
Just a little bit. A little sprinkle.
Well, we'll have to do this again. I adore you. And I know we like have some realities we have to get back to.
Of course.
But next time I think we should do it with some little drinky food.
Yeah.
I want that.
I support that.
Okay. Yay.
Yes.
Yay. I feel like it got hot.
It did. But then I'm like, I'm always hot and I come in layers. Like,
oh my God. All right. Well,